And welcome to the Town of Sykesville's Mayor and Town Council meeting. Today is Monday, February 13th, Galentine's Day 2023. We will call the meeting to order this evening at exactly 7 p.m. Let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and follow that with a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a moment of silence. So as I just mentioned before we went on the air, this meeting is also being streamed live to Carroll Media Center's YouTube channel, as well as the town's Facebook page, and will be available for playback. So we begin this evening, as we begin all of our public meetings, with an opportunity for the public to make public comment. Joe, has anyone signed in for such?
No one signed up.
All right. So we can jump right over that and get into our consent agenda, which is inclusive of our minutes from our January 23 meeting, and the reappointment of Chad Bederka to the Historic District Commission for a 3-year term expiring February 2026. I'm presuming there's no need for discussion on the consent agenda? May I have a
motion to approve the consent agenda?
Thank you, Councilman Grassley.
I'll second that.
And Council President Carter with the second. All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Don't see any, but any opposed? All right, very good. Consent agenda has passed. That gets us to item number 3, which is our annual presentation from the Downtown Sykesville Connections Executive Director, Julie-Della. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you for having me in the pre-Valentine Day town meeting, the best of the year.
Yes, it is.
So I will be presenting whatever we did in 2022, not everything we did, so because we would be there forever and ever. But I'm just going to show you a summary of our activity, and I'm going to start by reminding you what are the driving principles of our Main Street program, and those are the synergetic operation of 5 committees. I know on this line it shows you 4. The National Main Street Program recommend 4. We have an extra one. We have a 5th one, which is our Green Committee that works in tandem with our Keep Sykesville Beautiful designation. The way it works for us is that those 5 committees work together. Often program overlap from one to the other, and they all work together to achieve the same goal, which is to improve the quality of life in downtown Sykesville for the vibrancy of our main street, for the well-being of our residents. So now I'm going to go committee by committee, starting with the organization committee that will transition in 2023 to become the Jedi committee. And that's what you saw on my first slide. If you can choose to be something, choose to be a Jedi. Jedi stands for Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. That will be one of the guiding principles of our strategic plan and all of our activity going forward. So the organization committee is in charge of the Happy-thon that took place in December on the porch of the town of Sykesville after we had so much fun wrapping the present in this very room. We serve 78 children this year. I am currently registered, I'm back to school, registered as a student at the University of Maryland in the Maryland Equity and Inclusion Leadership Program. That's 8 weeks program. I should graduate in March with a badge of Chief Officer Diversity for the Downtown Sykesville Connection and a training that will allow me to write our diversity policy, but also to teach staff or anyone, partners that would want to be made more aware of what it is to focus on equity and inclusion. We have applied this past year in July to the Great American Main Street Award, and we made it to the final, as you can see with that graphic that's there. So we were recognized as one of the best performing Main Street in the whole US, alongside with 7 others. And what's interesting about that achievement is that it's not a people vote. It's a jury of professional in economic development, community outreach, and things like that. We also had a board training that was supported by a grant program. For the design committee, my favorite committee, we do a bunch of very fun stuff that around the art. So you can see we had a focus this year on kid stuff, kid programs. So we have a mural downtown that has, I cannot say the number of hidden snallygaster, because if I give it away, everyone is going to win a plush snallygaster toy that are also available at the post office, as well as our postcards. You may be aware we created a booklet of 10 postcards, as well as single postcard. One you might not know, and the samples are here, is that we created a postcard for each and every business and donated to them 1,000 of them that they use for birthday club, coupons, you name it. They have found a very creative way of using them. We also released our historical maps that come with an audio feature. So if you go on our website and you play it, you can just walk around Main Street and learn about all of the buildings that are downtown. The Economic Development Committee was very busy. We wrote grants, we got most of them. We also gave grants. The last one that we dispersed was a $16,000 grant for small business downtown Sykesville to help them with their marketing effort over the Shop Small season. So that was just completed a few weeks ago. We had a very successful Waze. I don't know if you saw Sykesville on Waze, but now we are on Waze. And what I like about that marketing campaign we started, it allows us to see exactly how many people rerouted to Sykesville. So I think that's a very useful tool. My favorite things we did this year was adding some more holiday decor and light downtown, and a very overwhelmingly positive feedback from anyone who got to enjoy them. So we might think about having the light in the alleyways in a more permanent way in the future, because there's also a safety component to that, and it really beautifies the town in a very nice way. The Green Committee completed a project that you probably are familiar with, because we posted about it a lot. It was a Little Sykes Railway Park beautification program in combination and partnership with the town, with lots of help of Derek. So we added a beautiful commemorative sign, we updated the cityscape, and we have a quilt. And the proof is in front of you. I have left for each of you the booklet from the quilt barn. We are now on that map that you see at the top of the slide. Sykesville is noted there. Before it was a big empty spot. And we are the only place that is not going to be just a drive-by. Because, after someone has been in a bus for an hour and a half, and coming in a beautiful town like ours, it would be a shame not to enjoy a coffee, tea break, and a bathroom stop. What we did also was putting downtown cigarette littering receptacle that had art on them created by the 5th grader of Piney Ridge Elementary. My favorite is there. It's Freddie Mercury singing "The big disgrace, don't litter all over the place, keep Sykesville beautiful." It's better with the music, but I'm not a big singer.
And I don't want to embarrass myself.
So we also take care of the garden, as you know, and some grant money was, actually a lot of grant money was used to provide each and every business downtown with paper bags this past year, to help with the no plastic goals that we're trying to reach. This is a list of our events. I have seen you at most of them, so I'm not going to, and I know everyone here can read, so I'll just note that we were very proud to have the mummers at our parade, and they already have reached out to ask if they could join again. So it's going to be a great year as well. A big chunk of our work this year was to update, rewrite, and publish our strategic plan. You can find it on our website under about the Downtown Sykesville Connection, and you will find that graphic. Each and every of the icon that appears in color is clickable and will send you to the list of projects that is associated with that specific icon. And that's the list of progress that we follow throughout the year, depending on how many grants we get. We sometimes adapt and or add some new projects. So what are we looking forward to in 2023? We already have been very busy, but we are working to prepare our retreat in March. We have the National Main Street Conference at the end of March in Boston, where several board members and myself will go gloat about our semi-finalist position, and I believe the town manager and the mayor are joining us. We're offering a film-making class entirely free to children around the Easter break. We also the board is going to take diversity training, slightly different than the one I'm doing right now. That's really catering to staff and operations. So they will get it as board member by a specialist in late April. And we have received funding from the Carroll County Art Council to support the project that we had in mind for a while now, which is the addition of veteran banner in downtown Sykesville. So I hope that we can complete that this year. And because a movie is 1,000 words, I'm going to let you watch these videos that was produced and submitted along with our GAMSA application, and in my opinion, were probably what got us there. So I don't know. Carrie?
There it comes.
There.
And it has volume.
The organization for 10 years, and I've been on the board for 5 years. And I think being on a board of directors for a Main Street program is a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, and it's definitely a journey to fast forward all these years later, and now I want to tell you what the 4-point approach is. I want to tell you what our transformation strategy is, and I want to tell you all of the ways that our organization creatively delivers economic development, and I want to tell you why you should join our organization. I want to tell you about all of the fun that we have.
Long before I was mayor, I saw potential in this Main Street. It's right here behind me. One day in 2011, I saw a flyer advertising for a meeting about a new organization. I went to the meeting, and before I knew it, was signed up for the design committee. I had learned about the Main Street program. Slowly but surely, people started showing up, and then more people showed up, and then the pandemic, and everyone showed up. 10 years after that meeting, I was elected mayor of Sykesville. And I'm here to tell you, we are Main Street.
I am the Executive Director of the Downtown Sykesville Connection, the nonprofit community service organization that is administering the Main Street program for the town of Sykesville. So what I believe is the Main Street program for Sykesville, it's economic development with a people component. It is a modified economic development traditional model that includes other deliverables such as community engagement, cultural impact, preservation of history and identity of our town. So it forces us to do things differently and better. We just don't host events. We create a unique venue for people to be together. We just don't do placemaking. We create a strong emotional connection between people and their downtown. We don't do just projects. We make memories. We create stories for our doers, our volunteers, and our target audience. So you add to that what we believe is a transformation strategy, which allows you to customize and tailor your program to the need of your community, to the trend, to a pandemic, to a special skill set of your volunteer task force at the time, and then you have it. You have that very powerful tool that fosters the vibrancy of our downtown. This is what the Main Street program is for us in Sykesville. It's why it works, it's why it never ends. There's no boundary, no limits.
I think we can all say that we understand completely what it means when we say we are Main Street.
We are Main Street.
In Sykesville, we are Main Street today, but we will be a better Main Street tomorrow.
Very nice.
I think it really captures what we do, so it's why I like it so much. And now I'm stuck, and we're not replaying it. Okay, here you go. I have one more slide because now is the time to that we have asked if we could respectfully award our excellent volunteer at the farmers market. We have 3 awards to present this year. I hope in the future year we will have more, but we work with Mary Castle, our farmers market manager, and she provided us with name of kids that spend every Sunday at the market helping, making sure there was no trash and that everything was set up nicely, helping with information. So Mary, I will ask you if you can come with me to recognize those guys, and Mayor Link, if you would do us the honor of coming for a picture maybe.
Yeah,
I think the volunteer would enjoy having one with you.
I would love that.
Go ahead. Michael Eakin. Abishia Kalibo. And Michaela Castle.
And Michael, up here.
Yes, if you
Picture?
don't mind.
Thank you for what you guys do. You guys beat me there every Sunday, and you're there after I leave, and the place is always running smooth. When I was your age, I was certainly not giving up every Sunday, so thank you so much.
And that's it for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Julie.
No,
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for the fall festival.
Oh, my
It was
pleasure.
important to me that we started doing
Yep.
things that included,
Absolutely.
families and stuff.
Yep.
So loved seeing that. So
It
thank you.
took a minute to get it back because that's one of those events that cost us a lot. We don't sell any ticket and it's free for all. So after the pandemic, it was not something that we could bring back too fast. So I'm glad that we took our time to do it right.
Yeah, thank you.
Good deal. Thanks for
So 2 things that I just want to say thank you for. So the holiday light banner that went across the town, I know that you all worked on that for 2 years. It was absolutely beautiful. I got to go to a couple of European cities during the winter, and I think I saw the inspiration from there. And you brought it to our wonderful town. So thank you so much for that. And then I'm really looking forward to the veteran banners that go up. And I'm wondering if maybe we can squeeze in high school seniors down the road a little bit. So I'm just throwing that out there as a thought your way to see if that's a possibility. But thank you so much.
My pleasure, and thank you for bringing that up, because that's exactly how we envision this banner to be interchangeable. Because we don't have the use of the pool, we already are starting with business owner, so it's going to be a very heartfelt project when we're going to pair people with a veteran or have them also suggest a senior, and we will be able to have seasonal exhibits like that throughout the year.
So
That's awesome.
if I could throw in a third group of active duty.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, it's
Possibilities
limitless.
are
Limitless.
No, it's okay.
Is that all for the questions? Anyone else?
Thank you for your hard work.
Good. Yeah,
And
thank you.
we truly can see it shine from just the time that I've been here. It's a total transformation, and without a Main Street, we don't have a viable community. So thank you, and thank you all for volunteering. Without volunteers, we wouldn't have the events that we have. Thank you.
And mad props for the Gamza semifinal position, and what's gonna go down in Boston that I hope to be a part of. So anyway, yes, congratulations to the Downtown Sykesville Connection, and congratulations to Sykesville for having you as part of it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the end of all of our fun stuff, and we get into something called unfinished business, which is a public hearing where we will also consider, discuss, and act on ordinance number 2023-01 for fiscal year 2023 budget revision. And a quick item summary, because this was introduced at our last meeting. This is just a recap with one exception. But anyway, as we progress through the fiscal year, several budget categories need to be adjusted to properly account for current and expected revenues and expenses for the remainder of fiscal year 2023. This document includes an overall increase in revenues and expenditures of $273,779. I'm going to turn this over to Joe, but first I want to say that this amount that I just said reflects an increase from our introduced version 2 weeks ago, which was an increase of an additional $27,500. And the council is aware of this increased expenditure, but I think they're as happy as I am with the rationale behind it. So I'd like to do what I love to do, which is to give a Sykesville shout out, or as I call it, a psych out, to Derek Shreves, our Director of Public Works, who, Joe will build upon this, but who located you're not going to? I'm going to do it all. He's shaking his head. Who located a refurbished dump truck at that cost of $27,500 to replace a, sadly but true, our Big Red, the Big Red dump truck, and it's literally on its last wheel. And never wants to really start, and costs a lot of money to maintain. And so we got something for $27,500 that we would have, if we wanted to find another refurbished one, would have been closer to $75,000-$80,000. And that was not already included in our budget, any of that. So I guess Manchester had something they wanted to unload, and we wanted to pick it up. So there you have it. That's our $27,500 in addition to what was proposed as a budget revision 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess. So Joe, can you help us out with all the other deets, please?
I mean, again, that was the only change from the last meeting. Again, these are relatively minor adjustments through the budget year, just to make sure that we're operating under with money in the budget. So really, if there's no other questions, there's really nothing else to expand upon.
Great. Anyone for?
And Joel, just to clarify the one point about the dump truck from Manchester is that will go through an approval process through Manchester too. So even if we put this money in the budget, it doesn't guarantee that we will get that, but we are hopeful.
I know the mayor over there.
Yeah. Put in a good word.
Okay, great. It's not a far drive to get it here either, so that's nice too. So fingers crossed that goes through. So with no further request for clarification, checking once, twice, 3 times, do we have a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-01?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Grassley. A
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Schofield. All in favor of opening the public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the public hearing opens at 7:25. And this is the part where we ask anyone in the public who wants to make comment about this revision to our budget to come to the microphone if there's any input or comments. Okay, these are the fastest public hearings we could ever imagine, especially when it's about dollars and a big red dump truck being replaced. Anyway, so a motion now to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Grassley.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Schofield. All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
If I would have talked 10 more seconds longer, I could say it's 7:26, so we'll just do that. The public hearing is closed at 7:26. So that brings us to looking to adopt the budget revision by way of approving ordinance number 2023-01 for fiscal year 2023 budget revision. Before I ask for a motion, does anyone have anything else? So then I'll just ask for a motion for the adoption of the ordinance.
So moved.
There you go. Nice. I'll second it.
All right, so we just swap that around. Thank you so much. So for the record, the motion is to approve ordinance number 2023-01 for fiscal year 2023 budget revision. The motion was first made by Councilman Schofield and seconded by Councilman Grassley. Any need for further debate? All right, I'll call
Just for the record, it's nice to see that another town's trash is another
town's
treasure.
Yay.
So I just throw that down.
Wow, you may have just outdone. You raised the bar there for the mayor. All right, well.
I think we just closed the meeting now.
Seriously. All right, so I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the adoption of said budget revision ordinance number 2023-01 fiscal year 2023 budget revision. Thank you. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the budget revision ordinance number 2023-01 has been adopted. Okay. That moves us to new business. And that's the fifth item on our agenda for us to consider, discuss, act upon the approval of night work on Main Street. Briefly, the Main Street contractor has requested the town authorize limited night work to complete certain portions of the project, and I'll turn this one over to Joe. I'm sure we all read our memo.
So again, this is obviously the request for night work. Maryland 851 is obviously a state road. The state is actually almost deferred to us as whether or not we want to allow these contractors to work at night. The specific projects that they're talking about within the overall project is just basically the relining effort of the wastewater line that's getting repaired. So this will not involve heavy equipment. It's mostly trucks and pumps and things like that. And again, the reason they want night work instead of day work is the line really does have to be shut down during those hours. So lining it at night where there's less flow, it means less impact to the people that are actually connected to that line.
Makes sense.
So it would be a relatively short 7-day window that they would have to do all of this work, finish that, at least that portion of it. It would not be in just one location. They'll be moving up Main Street as they progress. So again, it's not just one spot that they'll be doing all 7 days. But then they did also ask for night work for a portion of this project that's further south on Main Street. This is, I guess, I'm pretty sure it's the last manhole in the line, the wastewater line. But it's also the deepest, and it's going to require the most disruption. So again, they want to do it at night so that it's not basically closing traffic completely off.
And that's right in between the Vine.
Basically, between the Vine and Sykesville Station. So again, and we don't have a specific date for when that project's going to work. Assuming this night work does get approved tonight, the relining effort will start likely tomorrow. But we'll get an update on when they can do the manhole work at the next progress meeting in all likelihood.
Okay. So I read the memo in detail, and I'll just, I'm sure we all did. I'll allow the opportunity for questions of staff or further clarification if there are any.
So, did we reach out to any residents on Main Street before today?
Yeah, we have not. Obviously, if anything gets approved, the contractor will have to go and notify the residents, specifically when the work is happening, so that they know to at least minimize as much use as possible during those times.
And do we have any idea how noisy it would be to reline the pipes? I mean, is it just a matter of flow?
The generators, I think they're going to be here.
Yes, the generators and pump noise is really what you're going to get. There will be lights, obviously, too.
Yeah.
So it's, again, that's another component of all of that.
Yeah. And then the.
As far as like a decibel level, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be better to do it now than July, I guess, or spring when people have it.
Yeah, the benefit, I guess, is that they get done a lot earlier, and the impact, there's impact either way, right? It's maybe the lesser of two evils that we're trying to determine. having this kind of work done during the daytime that we have been experiencing is somewhat of an inconvenience, right, to traffic flow and to the businesses, the dust and the noise, and also access to the buildings and parking and all of that is limited as a result. So, the upside to this is they would be done sooner and less daytimes of that going on. And then, of course, the downside would be to the individuals who actually live on Main Street in the apartments. They would be most impacted by the noise.
Yeah, so would they have to shut down the whole street if they did it in the day, or would it still be the one lane like what's going on now?
Yeah, they're required to keep traffic moving.
Okay.
So again, and still, even if they did that portion during the day, it would, the lining effort during the day would still be traffic controlled.
Okay.
It's the south end that would be the problem child.
Okay. Yeah, building the digging the manhole.
Digging the manhole. Because it's pretty deep. I can't remember how it is. It was
15 foot or
it's
something.
at least
Wow.
15, yeah.
Full
It's
snow.
Right down the middle of Main Street.
And is there any cost to the town for any of this
No.
related to night versus day, or?
No, yeah. The
Nothing's
town
coming to us.
sees no financial impact whatsoever.
I have a comment and a question, and then also two questions actually. If it was done during the day, they would have to shut down water systems, so it would
Sewer, yeah.
the sewer, so it would affect not only traffic, it would affect the use, and some businesses might have to close because you don't have water usage. So that's an effect. My second question is when it's discussed at sleeving the pipes. I was under the impression that they have the existing pipe, they put a pipe inside, the existing pipe stays, and the new pipe is like enclosed in it.
Correct.
Somebody had told me that's not necessarily true, where they take the pipe and they push the old pipe out, so it's the same dimension. Would you have an answer to that?
The way it's been described to me is it is a lining effort. So
Okay.
again, it will be material will be put inside the existing pipe and then what's just called hardened while
Right.
in there.
Okay.
Ultraviolet.
With that, I know that when you take a pipe so many in
Inches in
size and then you
diameter.
reduce it, is that smaller dimension going to be able to withstand our water system? I'm assuming that the technicians and the engineers know that.
Yeah, there's not a capacity
Okay.
reduction in the wastewater line.
Okay. And then my comment is that I spoke with a property owner who has both businesses and residents in their in buildings, and he is willing to help communicate this, whatever we decide, with his tenants, residential and retail. But he feels, just like what the mayor said, that the shorter duration impacts the smallest amount of those being affected, and he would support this agreement.
Thank you.
Good.
I don't like it, that's gotta be done.
There you
Yeah,
have it.
as an engineer, you can argue, yeah, I hate it, but I will vote for it because it's the right thing to do.
Anyone else
Nope.
that wants to make comment that's about to fortify their future vote? No? And so then the only thing that we haven't, go ahead, were you just going to say something?
I was
Joe?
just going to make a quick comment, just saying we might hold it over their head that until they clean up our parking lot over
Thank
here
you.
a bit more, we're not going to let them do night work.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
something we're communicating with them.
That's a bit of a disaster. That's looking like Stacy's bedroom circa 1990. Yeah, it's pretty messy.
We did get a complaint
College
over the
years.
weekend that was not approved to put all that
Yeah.
material over there. So again, we are asking them to relocate.
Thank you. That
And
is
just so that,
little
for
leverage.
clarity for me, over,
Sandusky.
yeah, that's,
Sandusky.
okay.
Okay. All right. So at this point, we are voting to approve that as well as
Yes.
the other 7 to 10 days on the southern end of Main Street for the 15-foot big dig, where it will be loud because they're going to be digging and using,
But it will be only in that one spot.
right, which is as far south as you can go before you're not in Sykesville anymore.
Correct.
Almost. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
in the furthest place from any residences.
I'm sorry?
The furthest place
From the residences.
from the on Main Street.
There's actually residents above the pottery.
Pottery place now.
I had forgotten about that.
Oh,
Thank
Abby's
you.
son lives up there, I think, so.
Oh, well,
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
either inconvenient
You'll get the message then.
No comment.
Yeah. Okay, so are we ready to vote?
Yeah,
All right, do we have a motion?
Just got one more question.
Yes,
So
sir.
I believe I read it. There's Monday through Thursday. It's no weekend work.
Right, yeah, no, we're
Right.
not allowed them to do any.
Thank you
Saturdays.
for saying
I
that
just
out loud.
wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that's our perception of what's
Yeah.
going on.
Like Monday night or Sunday night?
Monday.
Monday night,
Okay, so it's only 4 days a week,
right,
4 nights a week.
4 nights,
4 nights.
right.
Okay, so a motion, do I hear one? I feel like I hear one.
So moved.
But I didn't say it really, so let me say this.
Informal,
The
Mark.
staff is recommending that we vote to approve the night work that we've just discussed on Main Street.
As proposed.
As proposed. Oh, and the state highway is agreeable should the town approve this evening. I should have mentioned that earlier.
So who made the motion?
Well, I was just announcing, and now you can say so moved.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Dyer.
I'll
Do I have a
second that.
Thanks, Councilman Grassley. All in favor of the motion to approve the limited duration of work proposed for the nighttime on Main Street, 7 to 10 period, 7 to 10 night, business nights only, not all consecutive, in 2 separate locations at separate intervals. Please say aye.
Just one
Oh.
more, I'm sorry, one
That's
more
okay.
discussion. Is there a backup plan if it gets extended?
Mm.
I imagine they're just gonna continue to do the work until they're done, right? We're not gonna come back and have another vote on this sort of thing.
Well, I would assume that.
I'll say this, if it goes over a day or so, it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal. If for some reason they come back and say, oh, we need a whole other month, then
Yeah.
we'll come back.
Okay. All right. I just wanna get that in
No,
there
that's
just in
great.
case there's a delay.
That's great. All in favor of the motion on the table, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's a unanimous approval of the motion, and yeah, I don't need a time on that. Okay, next is for us to consider, discuss, act upon, act on approval of Brennan Company Architects as the firm to update the Historic District Commission design guidelines. Quick summary on this item. The proposed agreement will allow staff and the Historic District Commission to begin updating the town's Historic District design guidelines. And I'm just going to turn to Joe for a little more background on this one.
Yeah, so this is actually something that the Historic District Commission's been talking about for a while, is to update these guidelines. I want to say it was 2000 was when they were actually adopted, so they have not been significantly updated since then. And it just so happens we recently applied for a grant and were awarded $12,500 to do this specific project. So it is a 50-50 matching grant. So we kind of knew the budget of the rewrite before we even started looking for firms. We reached out to 3 separate firms, talked to all of them, did a little background research on them. Since we knew the price of the contract was going to be the same, we basically selected the one that we thought was going to do the best job for us. And then we took that to the Historic District Commission. They agreed, and now we're here and ready to move forward with this project.
Okay.
So staff is recommending that we approve this contract with Brennan Company so that we can rewrite our HDC guidelines.
Okay.
So I did have a question in reference to this. Will this take into account all historic properties within the town limits?
It's just the historic district, just the downtown.
Just the down, so not including historic buildings over at Warfield. It won't take that into account?
They've got their own.
They have their own
They have their,
guidelines.
Yes. Yep.
Correct.
thank you.
God, do they.
It wasn't clear to me in the
Such as they are.
write-up. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So what made this group stand out more than the other 2 people that you're talking to? Because it's the same amount, right? You're
Yeah.
basically, hey, this is what we
The
have.
cost is the same, and really it's just their work product from similar projects that they've done.
Okay.
They're currently going through the rewrite process for the Ellicott City Design Guidelines, and if you go through some of their portfolio work on their website, you can really see that they understand the, let's just call it the urban design component of what all this is. So again, I just think it's going to be a good fit specifically for Main Street.
Okay.
It's a local company right out of Luella, just
Right.
outside of Ellicott City.
Oh.
So yeah.
So they know Maryland.
Yes.
Joe, I'm assuming that they, with the Ellicott City work, they were contacting Maryland Historic Trust.
Yes.
Okay, because they're already doing that on their project, do we get a discount on our project?
I don't think it really works that way, but it's a set contract. So.
Okay.
Joe and I
Nice
paid
try.
full price at the barber for no reason.
We don't get a discount.
Nice try, President Carter. That was good.
That was terrible.
I can
I
tell
hope
you
you
that
were-
the HDC is highly looking forward to the revisions of our guidelines. They are so outdated, and we're looking for input.
I'm sure with new materials that are
Yes,
available now for
exactly. And that's
construction.
what we struggle with.
And I do have it on good faith that I can report that I will soon have a letter of interest from a resident as early as tomorrow or Wednesday. Well, yes, but I only know for sure that I will have a letter of interest by tomorrow or Wednesday from one of the two interested parties.
I have somebody interested as well.
Excellent.
Yes.
I may have been texting someone's spouse who's here in the room today. All right. So any more questions on the?
I'll make a
Contract?
motion.
Okay.
Unless you, do you want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion this time. Come
Go
on, give me
ahead.
one. Give me one. I move to approve the proposed agreement with Brennan Company as presented and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents.
And I'll second that.
Oh, great. Wonderful. That went very smoothly. Thank you, Councilman Keenan. Council President Carter with the second. Before calling for a vote, are there any more comments to support your forthcoming affirmative vote, I believe is what we're going to have. Anyone? All right. So all in favor of the motion to approve the proposed agreement with Brennan and Company as presented and authorize the mayor to sign all necessary documents to begin the project. Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This is really going well this evening. That motion also carries unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to the announcements and reports section of the agenda. This evening's announcements, I will begin with the fact that our next meeting is Monday, February 27th. Is that right? Yes, 2023. We have volunteer opportunities available on the Historic District Commission and Police Auxiliary. Anyone interested, please email town@sykesville.net for more info. Openings are also available on the town's Board of Elections Supervisors. Is that still up to date, accurate information? Do we still have openings?
No.
Okay, so forget I said that. We must have had an overwhelming level of interest upon my announcing this 2 weeks ago.
We had lots.
Fantastic. I love that. Okay, so that brings us to staff updates. I'll start with Joe, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So again, just talking about elections, there is the candidacy filing forms are available on our website now. So if anybody's interested, they are available. They must be submitted by, I believe it's March 27th, and I'm waiting to hear Carrie scream if that's the wrong date, but I'm pretty sure that's it. And then also you can start requesting mail-in ballots. The ballots obviously won't be available until I want to say it's the second week of April. But again, the election information is available on our website. So if anybody's interested. A couple of announcements that the Carroll County is starting to look at the economic development and land use portions. This is basically a precursor to their rewrite or update of their comprehensive plan. So they're having their first public workshop on actually this Thursday. It's up in Westminster at the Makerspace up there next to the library. So if anybody's interested, 5 to 7 p.m. On Thursday. The State Board of Public Works is holding a meeting, I think it's this Wednesday. They're going to talk about, actually, that's our capital grant that we were awarded, last legislative session.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the final step that we actually can start receiving money. So we could have already started spending money, but now we can actually get reimbursed for any of the work that's going on there. And then just to possibly preempt a future question, I've not made any progress on the trash cans at Oklahoma.
Thank you for that.
Cut 'em off with the pass.
Knowledge.
So the economic development and land use study that's being held are conducted by consultant WGI, I believe, and
There's
something.
two. It's Walden and Associates, Walden something.
Yeah, WGI and Walden. I actually expressed my interest in participating, so I've already spoken with them at length about opportunities for economic development here in Sykesville on the east side of 32. And had a very fun time with that conversation, and I think it was very well received, and they want to also meet with any of you who might be interested here at this table. And obviously, it's open for the open house situation that Joe just announced in Westminster next week.
By the way, the makerspace is underneath the library, not next to it.
Sorry, my mistake.
Well, I mean, I said, in case any kids are listening, they go, where do I go? You go in the library and just go down.
Excellent. Thank you. That's good to know. Anyone else we're still on staff. Sorry. Joe, were you
That's all I
finished? Thank you. Okay, Craig, treasurer's report, please.
Hurry up.
Please.
For God's sake, hurry up, get it done.
Put this away.
Good evening, everybody. Everybody that's watching. I thought I had a really good audience. Because I was for a second thinking, man, they really want to hear the treasurer's report.
That's why we're here.
I'm like, I'm teaching them some stuff. This will be exciting. But anyway, so at this time, I'd like to present the January treasurer's report. I don't know if hopefully everyone in the council had the chance to peruse it. The basic highlights, I'll go quickly through. At the 7-month mark now, we are at 300,000 above, or I should say, revenues now exceed expenditures by 300. I projected that last month, and
Yes,
as
you
you
did.
saw, it came true. So not that that was that hard because we received the 566,000 for the real estate taxes, which now brings that category right in line with the budget. Actually, it's beating the original budget, but we've already tweaked as you approved tonight. So now it's like right there. So that's a good thing. All other major revenue accounts are tracking fairly according to budget, which is good. In terms of expenses, it probably makes more sense to wait for the February treasurer's report because then I can implement the budget revision that you guys just approved, which is, I'm sweating that.
I know.
Even that, just writing that down, like, well, if they don't approve it, I can't say that, so that's not really good. So that's pretty much it. Pretty quiet in terms of the check register. Wasn't really anything too major out there to talk about. So at this point, if anyone no questions, I'm going to sit down. But
Good.
Mark, I'm kind of disappointed. Like this is Barry. I mean, who has Barry shoes, Mark? You didn't even you didn't even comment.
But I expect excellence from you, and you
So
always.
I just want to say, so are mine. and I got the Barry memo, so.
Yeah. Very good.
Yes, they are.
He always has great shoes. I expect excellence.
Probably should have wore red, but that's tomorrow.
No, this is good.
Can't use up my red.
Valentine's Day.
To a colorblind person, they're brown. So I'm
True.
really sorry.
I guess I didn't think of that. I guess it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
So.
I have no questions that weren't already asked in an email and answered, so. Anyone
Very
else?
good. All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, that brings us to our public safety report. We've got our second stringer, Lieutenant.
Oh, I remember. I don't do anything anymore.
That's what we heard.
Welcome, Lieutenant.
How are you guys? It's the public safety report for January 17th through February 5th, 2023. During that time, we handled 662 incidents or calls for service. Out of those, we had 2 assist motorists, 18 assist other agencies, 11 community policing initiatives, 36 foot patrols, 10 house checks, 4 motor vehicle accidents, property damage only, 354 patrol checks, 4 public services, 1 traffic complaint general, 41 traffic enforcement initiatives, 11 trainings, and in that time, of those 662 incidents, 10 of those were reports, which I think everybody should have copies of.
We do. Thank you.
Any questions about the public safety report?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So Chief shared with us last time that there was a delay in getting information when the prisoner
There was.
escaped. And if I'm reading correctly in this report, there was more detail about how he escaped.
Yes, I believe that it came to light that he cut a fence.
That he what?
He cut the fence.
This
Yeah,
is
we-
a separate
we were-
movement that you're talking about.
So I
That
didn't
was a
know
separate one.
That was why I was confused. I did not know that.
Okay.
Are you
so
talking
the-
about Buttercup?
The one under
Yes.
under the truck.
Do you have a report number?
I can get
And I
it.
think it was an escapee.
Yeah,
not
well,
a
or an
report.
elopement or an escapee, I guess, could be the same thing, but
I was thinking of the prisoner.
yeah.
That the report
Okay, so
that he.
it was
That's
originally.
a different person.
No, same one.
Okay.
It was originally believed that he may have crawled under a Cisco truck and just kind of held on like James Bond
Okay.
until they drove out of the fence. But I think subsequent information was that he probably
So it is
cut
the same one, but it
It
was
is.
probably that he cut the fence. But in this report, it said he went under a truck.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
what we were given at the time that we responded. But I think once they finally caught up to him and debriefed him, I think he cut a fence.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it was just a different, like, when I guess it was a different message to the public if people think he took a truck out of town versus on foot.
Well, I think, if I remember right, that there was a canine track when the Department of Public Safety arrived that kind of headed down Raincliff Road, and they lost them kind of right in the middle of between just prior to getting to Route 32. I don't know if that helps clear it up. Anything else?
So just a comment on community policing. I thought the documentation was well done for the community policing. Particularly appreciated where they stated that they did the foot patrol, which businesses that they went to. Thought that was very well done.
Okay.
And if you could pass it on to the officers, that's wonderful information to be able to share with all of us about more of the specifics. It gives us a little bit better understanding of kind of a day in the life, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
And we're pushing it, some of us more than others, and just appreciate that.
All right, I'll let them know. Keep
Thank
up the good work there.
So I have a comment that,
Yes, sir.
going back to the escapee, you guys can only do what you know about. You're not psychic, as far as I know. And unless someone notifies you, there's nothing you can do.
No.
Has the chief getting any feeling that his, please tell me quicker, is going to be acted on? I mean,
Well, I can't speak to that because I'm unaware of conversations that he's had, but what I can tell you from my own experience is that when they think they have an escapee, they must do a count. And when you have 250 to 300 prisoners, it's probably going to take a while to get them rounded up and get that count to happen.
So my question would be, as a person who looks at processes, all right, you may have escaped, so I'm going to alert a bunch of people locally while I'm simultaneously, synchronously doing a count.
Sure.
And then if the count comes back, I call you back and go, relax. And if it doesn't come back, I go, we're sure now.
Right.
So at least you guys would know, because I can't expect you to do anything until you're told.
Correct.
And they're delaying telling you, and that is what bothers me.
Yeah, I don't know what their process is over there, honestly, and I wish I did. I don't.
Well, I'll ask the chief, but again, you guys are doing great.
I appreciate that.
Once you know what's going on. And I just can't believe there could not be a way to do things simultaneously to shorten the time from a problem is suspected to notification occurs. I used to have to deal with a 10-minute window to get messages around the world.
Sure.
And you're taking they're taking 20 minutes telling you?
Well, that's more like 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah, see my point.
Sure.
I had 10 minutes.
Yeah.
2 hours and they can't get it to you?
I think your computers might have been a little better than what they have over there, just saying.
Just saying.
Well, yeah, we tried. But anyway, again, thanks for all the great work you do, but until you're told...
We were way behind the 8 ball, for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have one more question. Last time we met, we had talked with also the chief about getting a report on whether there's been an increase in alcohol-related offenses and assaults. And I'm noticing that there was an assault at the Sykesville station.
Yes, that was not alcohol-related.
No, either or.
Okay.
But there was just a question of kind of increased activity.
And so to that event, that was 2 people that worked together that had a disagreement over something verbally.
Okay.
And
so it wasn't a customer.
No. One employee kind of hip checked somebody else into a wall or something like that. But not a patron and not alcohol or disorderly kind of thing.
Thank you.
But along the same lines, Lieutenant and Chief both worked, well, Lieutenant I'm sure did all the legwork and put together that report for me upon the request that we had made publicly at the meeting. Was that just our last, that might have been our first meeting in January, not our second one. In any event, I received that information, and Joe and I have talked about this, and we're going to disseminate it to the. We just haven't done it yet. It's not a matter of me wanting to withhold it or anyone not wanting to share it. It's my fault for not passing that along to you guys. Lieutenant did do the legwork, and so it's. But I think I asked for a little more clarification, and that's now I'm having why I haven't shared it because I want to
Okay.
build on it a little bit
Thank
more.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just reach out to me if there's anything else and I
Yes,
can
sir,
answer
I
it
will.
tomorrow.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Assuming that's everyone, my only comment for you, Lieutenant, is to tell Officer Picardo. He says Pichardo, does he
Pichardo,
not?
yep.
Okay, I need to make sure I do that correctly. Officer Pichardo, that I was thrilled to see the Ring doorbell footage that was shared with us, or with me. I don't know who else has gotten to see it, but Officer Pichardo was playing basketball with one of the teenagers in town. And
I got a phone call from his dad,
Okay.
kind of complimenting him, and just to remind Officer Pichardo, he left his phone there, so he had to go to the mailbox and get it.
Well, that is the safest place to put it when you put it down so you can shoot some hoops. Is put
Sure.
it in the mailbox, and then you'll find your way back to it. Okay, so yeah, so please let him know that I and the council are thrilled with his
I surely will.
community policing efforts.
Basketball
Appreciate
abilities.
That's right.
Oh, and he hit everyone he shot, just for the record.
Sure.
That was recorded and shared anyway.
You know, Mayor, you brought up a subject. When my little girls, who are not grown women, were little girls, they would play out in the street with this man who eventually became a lieutenant in the department. And you know what is a matter of fact? And what I'm getting at is, as I've said to your predecessor, you don't break grandma's window because it's a crime. You don't break grandma's window because it would upset and hurt grandma's feelings. Having someone who worked with the children, who are now grown women, but made them feel like, you know, I have to behave or I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't care why they don't break the window as long as the window's not broken. And your actions back then made them respect the law.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for
That's,
sharing.
that's why we're pushing it so much. That's why we
I
want.
wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
I've been known to buy a lost basketball, replace a lost basketball on more than one occasion. So wherever that's worth.
Along with many other things, Lieutenant.
Yep.
There's a list of stories that the community is so indebted to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Not too bad for a second stringer.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Anything I
Lieutenant.
will do it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
guys.
All right. That brings us to council and/or committee reports. Just opening it up to the table. First come, first serve. Anyone,
I don't have anything.
I just have one announcement.
please?
That I've been accepted into Leadership Maryland's class of 2023.
All right.
So I will be missing a month from now's meeting
Okay.
for that initial.
Well, congratulations on that. I
Thank you.
saw the the press release, and was very proud of my fellow councilwoman. So good for you.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure how many people know too much about it, but it's got a long list of very accomplished individuals, and it's great to have a councilwoman in the class of 2023. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. Anyone else?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
HDC Historic District met on January 25th. Our new date is on Wednesday. We had a continuation and approval of an application. We approved another. We still have openings. We're updating our guidelines, so it'll be easier. Please come. And I'm not sure if we have any applications submitted yet for February.
I don't know.
Okay. If we do, it will be announced, and our meeting would be on February the 22nd. That's a Wednesday, 7 o'clock here in the townhouse.
22223.
Yep. 22223.
All right, just one quick update. Planning Commission did meet on February 6th. It was a short meeting, but we still conducted a good amount of business, even though it was short. Phil Singleton will continue as the chair. So each year at the beginning of the year on our first meeting, the Planning Commission selects who the chair and the vice chair will be. And Brandon Smith will continue as the vice chair. So really want to thank them for their willingness to step up and volunteer in those two different positions. And then we agreed to the meeting schedule for the rest of the year. Normally, the Planning Commission is the first Monday of the month. However, on July 5th, in July, because of the 4th of July, we're not going to have a meeting on July 3rd. It'll be pushed to July 5th. So that's the only weird little hiccup throughout the year. Thanks.
Thank you. Anything, Councilman Dyer?
I just want to say I attended the meeting as a spectator, as as a citizen, and the reason why it was so short is they were so efficient. Click,
love
click,
it.
click, everything was done.
Speaking of efficiency, I'm just going to make the last comment for the council/committee reports and just let everyone know that I have scheduled a visit to the fourth graders at Piney Ridge Elementary this Wednesday, actually, in a couple days, where I will be, I guess you could say, educating them about the role of mayor and how municipal government really works, where the donuts are made, and getting them psyched to participate in the 23rd annual If I Were Mayor essay contest, where I believe this theme this year is preserving the past to power the future. So, and then I hope to be chosen as a volunteer to read some of those 3,000 entries as I did last year. Our district, District 11, among all the other districts, will pick a winner, and one winner and 3 runner-ups. And there's a cash prize involved with the winner, and there will be a really nice ceremony held in Annapolis at the governor's mansion, and I will attend if we have a winner from District 11. Okay, cool. So look out, fourth graders, here comes the mayor. And we are having a closed session this evening, so I'm going to read what is necessary to do so.
Before you do, I just want to ask Clark, you weren't texting any other council members when you were at the planning commission?
While at the planning commission, were you?
Just wanted to...
No,
okay.
I sat in the back,
Just wanted
kept my mouth shut
wanted to make sure.
uncharacteristically,
Thank
and
you.
went, wow, these guys are really moving.
And I just want to let everyone know that my phone's always off when I'm in a meeting, so I'm throwing that down.
That's real nice.
That is all.
Mine is not. So the closed session we will be having this evening. We'll be having a closed session this evening before we adjourn. The meeting is proposed to be closed pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, section 3-305B, to consider a preliminary matter that concerns the proposal for a business or industrial organization to locate, expand, or remain in the state of Maryland, and 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice on a legal matter. One of those items will be to consult with legal counsel about the Open Meetings Act. And the second item will be regarding a business location, which is town-owned property. So right now we're going to take a 5-minute recess to allow the council chambers to be cleared for those of you who stuck it out to the end. So thank you. Before we go into closed session.
Motion for a 5-minute adjournment.
Second.
Well, so this is a recess.
Recess.
You don't even need a motion, but
You might want to go.
yeah, what?
Might want to just.
Fun if you can.
Everybody can leave now. Is what he said.